Oh, we just got migrants that brought us the agriculture knowledge. However, we still don't have anyone with 100% Neolithic influence, so we still have to wait a bit. But now we just dipped under 5 kbc, which means that new things is becoming available for this timeline. So here we have mud run houses. We can see them now, and more importantly, we can see farmland. So what we need now is like we used to have back in the old days. We lack only 1% Neolithic influence to be able to build it. And this can come anytime between roughly 4, 5-ish K, 4,500 BC, like in a few hundred years, or in 1,000 years. You just don't know. The probability for getting it is already present, but the probability of getting it this early, this high up in Norway, is low. So I don't think we will get it before 4,000 BC. So we still have a few hundred years to roam around. Still a few hundred years. The influence comes, like we used to have before. You can see here the amount of influence each person has. This is tribe, but it used to be that you could see it on persons as well, but that has been removed, so we only have this. But we already know that the one who came with agriculture knowledge now already have some Neolithic influence. He will have some green in here, but we need someone who has a full green in order to get enough, because the percentage is so low on the migrants that comes in now that we can't get a full percent. And as time goes by, they will have more and more Neolithic influence until they in the end have 100% Neolithic influence. Because that will be 1%. If there's 100 population in the tribe, one Neolithic migrant will be 1%, and that's all we need. We do not need anything else. So now the ball is rolling. So we can work ourselves to a lot of things on our own, but those who require a knowledge we don't have, we must wait for, and those who require certain influence of culture, we must wait for, because we either get the culture via having several not full Neolithic migrants or Neolithic members in tribe getting full Neolithic children. That can easily happen. That can happen. Or we have to wait for a complete 100% neo-migrant to arrive. But yeah, I've had it. I think I've had it in the videos as well. I think it's almost a year ago since it happened, though. But it does happen that I had a child, a 100% neo child from 2 mixed parents. It does happen. So it's not impossible. So we just moved here, and it's absolutely beautiful. We're on top of a hill with loads of mountains and stuff. So we are pretty high up. We still have a way we can go. So we haven't had to raid anyone, but when we get big, we will have to raid them. I'm sure of it. Yeah, so it's not like we can't raid them or anything. We can. We just choose not to at the moment because we are so roaming around that we don't need that help. You can see we have tons of food, just throwing out everyone to gather stuff. Yeah, I can have it. This one. There you go. So yeah, I don't anticipate we will wait till much below 4K at all. I do believe we will get it between 4 and 4,500 BC. Get farms. We also would like pottery fairly quickly, because when we do get pottery, then we can also build the ovens, because we do need pottery for the ovens. We're also going to need pottery for the mud house, and we're going the Neolithic mud house. We're going to need pottery for, what else is it? Is it I think it's the feeder, animal feeder, and the dairy station. Yeah, but hay feeder we will get fairly quickly. I don't think we will get any animals until after 4 kbc. So even though we get farms between 4 and 4.500 BC, I don't think we will get any, not at least regular livestock until after 4 kbc. I'm pretty sure of that, to be honest. Yeah. Well, this is pretty, isn't it? Very pretty. Here comes the sound, doo 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 doo. Right. So population is okay. So we are 64. They're a little bit too happy. They are blue, but they're still getting kids. I wouldn't mind them coming down. We don't get a lot of migrants. We've had, I think we had 2 groups in a few hundred years. And they were both small. But the second one, the third we got, no, the third, no, we have had 3, I tell a lie, we have had 3. The third one just came with agriculture, yeah. How old are you? You are 66. You've got several sleeps left. Yeah, look at her, she's strong. Got a lot of extra fitness. We can check it here. Look strong, it's plus 26. That's literally giving her like a year extra to live, at least. You're not sleeping in the open. Oh yes, you are. Yeah, we are building now. The good thing is that none of these guys are sleeping consecutive nights in the open. If she did, she would eventually leave, and she hasn't left, which means she's not doing it at the moment. So that's good. But you see, when they do sleep in the open, after a few days, it will be plus 50, and it will continue to bother them. So it's not because it's 50 that they leave it. They don't leave at 50 unrest. You know, I don't think anyone does that. I think that's a bit too soon. But if it's consistent 50 unrest and there's no let up at all, after some time, their will, which works in the background without us seeing it, will have enough. In the end, they will be so annoyed because it's prolonged plus 50. It's prolonged unpleasant and hateful, whatever they're doing. They hate sleeping in the open. That means that's the last drop. If it continues like this several sleeps in a row, they are likely leaving. But this is why it's important to rotate, because it also takes a few days before it gets this bad. And if you manage to have them rotate in better housing so that the will calms down, even though you can't see it behind the scenes, if the will calms down, then it will take even longer for them to leave. Yeah, because it needs to be consecutive that they are sleeping in the open. So this one is done. This one is done. Let me see how much. Yeah, I'll wait a bit before I do more. What I should do though is to make one more, just to make sure that nobody actually is sleeping in the open. I'm just gonna put it somewhere. Yeah, okay, around here somewhere. That's graves. Okay, I'll put it here. I give in. Let me see. So this one here, you can see this one you don't need anything but woodworks, of course, the Neolithic influence, of course. And it's this one you need. Oh, you don't need mud anymore, because you used to need mud. Oh, was that the dairy station only? It could have been. The thresher you just need. Right, so now you can't thresh unless you have European Neolithic. That's new. It didn't used to be like this because we could use this one also in the Mesolithic to just mill whatever seeds we found for emergency food. So that's new. Yeah. And this one is European Neolithic, yes, and of course. Oh, look, this guy is talking about agricultural knowledge to the tribe. Excellent. So we can learn, I think, 12% in this time. Now you can see there's not a lot we have to go on. See, there's a very little sliver there of grey. So it just shows that we got agriculture fairly quickly after we were supposed to have the probability to get it. So that is astute. Okay, now we have another fireplace, so nobody needs to sleep in the open. They should be rotating anyway, or a few might not, because we don't have a lot of housing. This is what we've got. Yeah. But as soon as we got enough straw, I'll build another one, because these are only, is it -6? It's just -6. You see these, you can almost not see them in the snow. Like they become almost exactly the same color. It's like igloos. Oh, I wish we could build igloos. Darn it, I can't wait for DLC, because that's when we're going to do this winter and ice stuff. Oh, I can't wait. But we have so much to do. There's so much in the kitchen. It's cooking already. It's like a gazillion things. Oh dear Lord. And most of them are actually focused on predators. The DLCs, the Ice Age is not prioritized over predators, just so you are aware. So even though they are working on the Ice Age DLC, design and everything, the predators are priority. And I know that the devs are working like mad to get it done. Like mad. Like crazy, cray. Let's see. I quite like being on top of a hill. It's a lovely view, isn't it? It's absolutely lovely. It's lovely. So British. That is so British. 150 straw. Time to place down another one. I need 150 reed for that one. Where can I put you? Here. Here. Every little helps. How much? We have 61 of those. Let's see. So these are so bad that we should, in theory, and actually in practice as well, we should stop building them. En masse, we should maybe just build one here and there, and that's it really. Emergency, we should rely on these instead. Because they are at least less hated. They are much more quality. Like these, how much are they now? They are -34, while these should still be -25. Yeah, they're still -25, and of course this one should be 15. We can put down this one too, because we still lack a lot of housing, because we basically just migrated here. So this is 48 BC, 4800 BC. So we just dipped below 5k, and that's when, between 4 and 5k was when I anticipated we could get the first Neolithic migrants that had any insight into agriculture, farming or whatever. So now we could also perhaps in theory start getting pottery as well, because that came same time. Yeah, we can do it, we can do it. So in theory we could get it same time as we get someone who has agricultural knowledge, and then we get new stuff, which is, oh, let's have a look at these guys. They are still Mesolithic, 100% Mesolithic. But look at her, she has an increase in both the housing and also in toolsmithing. She has 67 architecture, we have 66, she has 1%. She has 67 toolsmithing, and we have 64. So you see, there's not a lot left to go. I think it's 65, maybe 67. Let's have a look. I think we're pretty much filled out here. Yeah, I think so. So at 4,800 BC, you can get to 67% architecture and probably everything else as well, except the more Neolithic things, which would be agriculture. It will be pottery. Agriculture and pottery are those two knowledges that will not be 67% available at this timeline. It will be much further closer to the end of the Neolithic timeline in this geography. We are, after all, far up in northern Norway. What did you expect? There was still tons of ice everywhere in Norway in this timeline. It was only the more west, southern and western, eastern coastline that had areas where there was not complete and utter ice and permafrost. But already by 11K BC, we had the first migrants sneaking around the Oslo fjords in Norway on the eastern side of the Norway coast, so south coast, and they lived well, because we have evidence of how well they lived. They lived so well they have time to go a Viking at a later point. Yeah, they went a Viking. So recent research and evidence shows that being a Viking wasn't a DNA thing or a upbringing thing with regards to how they trained people and stuff like that. It had to do with status. Becoming a Viking was not something you were born with. A Viking was something you earned. Who would have known? But I think a lot of people already consider this, but I think now that there are more evidence found towards this, it is more accepted among the peers, because what they found was that there was someone not Norwegian, not Scandinavian, that had a Viking burial. So the only thing that can mean is that this is not something you're born with. This is something you earn, you gain through life. And I found that really interesting. I'm going to go see if I can find more sources, and especially from any of the universities, because that would be interesting to see if they've done some more research on this. Because we only saw the initial, we were only informed about the initials, and then they do all the deeper research, and then they fill us in with the details. But I don't know if that is done already, because this is a fairly new discovery. So that's going to be interesting to see what they conclude, or what they actually can agree on, because there will be a gazillion theories, trust me. This is something I as a scientist as well experience all the time. That we have all our different theories, which can be plausible, and it's the can be, maybe plausible, that is driving me a little bit insane. I would like to know for sure which one is it. Which one is it? Which one is so correct? And in archaeology, this is something that is flourishing. The disagreements between the various branches and the various interpretations of whatever in archaeology is the spice of academia, in my opinion. Controversy is the spice of academia, and I really like it, because that forces you to keep asking questions, and that is exactly what I want to do as a scientist. So a lot of people think that a scientist needs to stick to the facts, but the thing is, the scientist also needs to find new facts. A scientist needs to be able to amend current facts to correct facts, because there are a lot of things that is not quite so easy to discuss and talk about. For instance, things that we have had indoctrinated with regards to when did humans do this and when did humans first come here or do that, because that is something that we are pushing more and more back as the decades go. So whenever there's a new finding of impossible things, or things that we think is impossible, then it takes like a decade or so until the academic world follows and says, yeah, it has to be like this, and then they change the teaching books, So yeah, that is something I don't like, because I like to see myself as an open-minded scientist. But there are plenty of scientists who are completely locked on the facts. So unless there's 100% proof, they are not willing to even adhere the notion that the teaching books could be wrong. The teaching books Every 10 years, I claim the teaching books are outdated and they need updating. So, and it comes, but unfortunately not as soon as it should, because we live with often wrong information that we believe in. You know what I mean? It's like going back a few hundred years and thinking that the earth is flat. Yeah, we're not going to talk about flat earthers in our society. We're just not going to do that. But the entire world thought that the earth was flat, or at least what we know of the entire earth back then thought that the earth was flat. Yeah? So there. So that's interesting. So I'm going to wait and see if more comes with regards to that. Also, another interesting discovery, I must talk about this because I try to keep a little bit eye on new things within paleontology, archaeopaleontology especially, and anthropology, paleoanthropology, and that is the line of humans. How did we get the Denisovans DNA? Because that is a new type of human species. They are humans. They're not hominids. They are humans. So it's going to be interesting to see what they pick up, because they have found a small bone in a cave in a cold area. I can't remember where it was. I think it was Iberia somewhere. I could be wrong. That contained DNA from not only the modern human, it contains DNA from the Neanderthal and a new species, and that new species is Denisovan. How about that? A mix. So those who claimed 20 years ago that Neanderthals did not die out, those who claimed that Neanderthals were not idiots with clubs running around with feathers in their hat, they are actually correct today, 20, 30, 50 years later. They are correct. This has been proven. The history books must be rewritten. Yeah. So I think we talked about this before, but there's a certain thing I don't love about scientists, at least those who are close-minded, and that is that they think that, or some of them might think that the family tree of hominins versus apes and whatever is a straight line. It isn't. It's branching out a gazillion times, and we seem to more and more evidence suggests that instead of one type necessarily dying out, it evolves by becoming someone else. So even though we can see Lucy and no more examples of Lucy down the millennia, it doesn't mean that she died out, her breed died out. It means she either interbred or became another species. Have you heard the expression missing link? That is because we haven't found all the stages of development, of evolution of all the species of humans we found that belonged several million years ago. So this is something that I'm not sure who it was that said it, but I agree with the statement that humans are not one clear line. Humans is a result of hundreds of different human species that has interbred and developed and evolved. And that is it. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's any doubt about that in my mind. None whatsoever. That this has to be correct. It makes so much sense. But that doesn't mean it is correct. So whatever makes sense in how we think today might not be correct in 50 years. But I'm open for that. I'm not saying it has to be this and everybody else is wrong. I'm not saying that. But logically, for me, this sounds a lot more correct. And we have more evidence now because we have 3 DNA types in one human. This is a modern human. The finger bone they found that they managed to extract DNA from because it was so cold there, which is why it's so extremely rare to find any DNA at all that we can use. So this was extremely important. I'm going to read more about this. As soon as I can find more information, I'm going to be all over it. I'll keep you guys updated if I find anything. I might not. Let me see. Let's get more building. 130. We still need more. You guys, actually, I'm going to give you more people so we don't wait so long. How many do we have in the food group now, though? It shouldn't be too many. Okay, we have a lot of free people. Okay, you guys have met the limit though, so you guys could probably do with more people. Yeah, there's a lot of limits met here though anyway. So when we have 400, we will have all eight of these crafter groups. There's no doubt about it. They will all be needed. All 8, not kidding. All your groups will be maxed out. I'm not thinking the lumberjacks, of course, not the fishermen nor the hunters, but the gathering groups, the farming groups, the crafting groups, and probably the herding as well if you're playing normal or beginners, because then you can easily have 170 plus animals. I don't recommend more than between 40 and 50, because that is when you can calmly have 6 wheat farms and keep them all fed with flax grain as well. But I'm going to try to get as many cattle as possible. I can show you in another video how I make cows breed better, but we're not likely going to get any cows before closer to 3k BC, which is well into the Neolithic timeline, but we will see. We could get lucky. The probability is there, even though it is low. Right, so the DNA also from this bone that they found, I need to go back to it because there's more information I've told you, because I've read everything I could find about it, because that's how interested I am. And apparently the Denisovans came from the Oceania area, from around Australia, New Zealand and that area, and they can still find it in the people living there. So is this correct? Does it mean that the Denisovans came from there, or does it mean that they migrated there? And since Australia for a long time was connected, they must have gone to Australia when it was connected to the mainland, to the other land, to America, or whatever it is, to South America. Gosh, I don't have the map in front of me, but yeah, me and geography not strong. So when the earth changed and they lost the bridge, they could not migrate out again. So therefore their DNA contains a lot of Denisovan in comparison to Europeans. Yeah, there's a lot to consider here before we say this or that or that. It opens up a lot of what ifs. It opens up a lot of maybes. You know, there can be several reasons, but I think the more likely is that they were from there, isn't it? But couldn't it then also not be just as likely that they migrated there and then got cut off from migrating again? Yeah, interesting to discuss this, isn't it? Because it's not only one solution that makes sense to us, the way we think today. There's more. And this is very interesting. I find it so interesting that we have DNA from 3 people, and this DNA only survived because it's so cold. Otherwise we would never in a million years have it. So that's so interesting. Yeah, actually I'm going to go read through Illustrated Science and see if I can find anything in their magazines as well. I also use ResearchGate a lot to find new articles. Some of them you actually have to pay for to read, but I don't care. It's not like it's going to bankrupt you. If you have okay economy, you shouldn't be too worried about paying a few pounds to read good articles from people who actually know what they're doing. The most dangerous for me is free, almost a free internet, but people's freedom to state whatever they want as fact on internet. and a lot of people believe them. It's difficult to accept that even adults do it, because adults are supposed to be able to think critically, to you know, not believe everything they hear and see and read. I like the open-mindedness of this, but I don't like the closeness of this, and I find that fanaticism often comes with too much, I don't know. Fanaticism can be very scary. Let's just agree to that. Can be very scary, and I have no doubt in my mind, none whatsoever, that if we educate people better, we will also get rid of racism, because that's all it is. Racism is uneducation, lack of education, lack of insight. That's all there is to it. The problem is, however, we have fighting survival, because survival is telling us to be with our own, because that's where the highest survival rate is. So this is our fight that will continue to go on and on and on. Because your primal brain, your primary, your reptile brain will still tell you, go be with your own. Higher survival chance, which is outdated. The brain is outdated. Not kidding. Brain is outdated. Primal brain needs to update. So evolution is not doing us a favor here. But you can see that if you have people with better education, most of the time, not saying all of them, that would be very odd of me to say, because I couldn't possibly know that. You can see people that has education and know why we are different do not have an issue. And I also think there's too much talk about racism. Leave it be. Stop talking about racism all the time. There's so little of it overall in the world. For instance, here in England, I never see it. I have not seen it once. Not once, and I've been here since 2008. You don't see it among those who have grown up with each other. You don't see it. You know? So then survival is not winning on these persons, is it? Because they grew up with them. So then the criteria has changed, hasn't it? Criteria for the primal brain to warn us has changed. Not exactly warn us, but for us to seek our own. But they are our own. You know, everyone is our own. It's not like one type is from Mars and another type is from Venus. We are all one. We are the same. That's just how it is. Oh. What are you unhappy about? Oh, are you eating roots because there's little food? Okay, so there's no real... Okay, tomorrow we're going to put this on max, and then we're going to dismantle and move on, because I think the animals now might be a bit further away, so they have to walk further, which is why there's less food coming in, because we do have still prey. You see, we have no warning that the prey is going down in amount, so we do still have. This includes the bigger ones as well. I don't think we have aurochs though. Aurochs is really high up here in Norway, if ever, not even in the Neolithic timeline. Well, not as I have seen, at least. This could have changed. I'm not going to state it 100%. I'm not going to write it in stone, because I could be wrong. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to... Oh, now we have a lack of grave as well. I'm going to dismantle these things that give anything back, and then we are going. Then we are going. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. So get going, girls. Do not hang about. We don't have time. See, there's not a lot of food left. They're going to start eating the bones now, I think. See, you guys can stop. That's it. Yeah. So we are going to move as soon as evening starts, or they are stopped. Shall we continue upwards, or do you guys want to go downwards? Because the river that we need to go, the river we need to go to is down here. I want to see further up. I'm sorry. Sorry, I need the adventure. I want to see how hard it gets. We have been lucky because we've had a lot of animals. We've been really lucky with prey. But then again, they did increase prey amounts and seafood, fish and clam amounts in the more northern parts. Oh, should we go live in an island? Let's go see. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, they need to go to the moors. Can you see? I can't go that far. I don't have enough food. I need to go closer because you see we only have a few days food. Will it take more than a few days? I'll go here. Oh, this is... Maybe we can see a lot of mountains here in front of us, which is something I really like. Yeah. Okay, so this video series could become really long. I've changed it once already from 6 to 8. I might have to change it from 8 to 10. Oh, but I just cannot make 7-hour long videos anymore. I have to take max an hour every now and then to do. So that's how it's going to be. It's either an 8-hour long video or it is 8 to 10 episodes. It's either or. Now let's see. I want to see mountains. So slow, so slow. Ooh, I see mountain. I also see a deer. Yeah, this will do. That'll do. So let's get down some fireplaces immediately. Yes, we're gonna get down. Emergency, quick. We need something they can rotate on. Because we have 82. We have 82. Wait a minute, do we have enough fine sticks though? We each take 15. Yeah, we have enough sticks. Just let them do all of these things. They can be 4 days in the open before they start grumbling. Oh. I'm not super worried. I really need to show you guys how you can get a fireplace on offering and a pelt hut on day one in smaller tribes. Because hardcore, it could help out a lot to get stuff done in one day so that you can spend your workforce then on getting food. If you are in a pinch, you should be able to get up what you need for day one when you land. And of course, don't forget the graves, Lilly, because that could be very bad. Very bad. There you go. Don't need all of them to be maxed out, but we do want some offerings. There you go. And then in the morning we are going to eat a bit, going to get some sticks and of course some stones. Yeah. Oh, we don't want a ton of mud, that's for sure. So that's gotta go. Look at these. When you crop them, it means they are not edible. If you gather them, then they are edible. Just keep that in mind, the difference between the poisonous ones, the ones you can't eat, and those that you can eat. Those you can eat are gathering, and the gathering is this. This is the gathering symbol. Well, this is the cropping symbol. That means that these cannot be eaten. So don't waste your workforce on it. Yeah, small tip. Look how many link codes we have already. 45 of those. Yeah, excellent. Excellent. Just you see, we have day 2. We have basically everything up, lacking 1 felt hut, and 1 fireplace waiting to get his log. Yeah, that's it. There you go. Day 2, all fireplaces, and probably, oops. Yeah, this one's just lacking his leather. No, yeah, the leather. That's all he's lacking. 304 straw is going to be, I'm going to have, my note, I'm going to have this one. Oh yeah, I can put it down there. So the thing with the big ones, they take the space, and if the terrain is uneven, you don't get it placed. I'm going to make 2. I'm going to make 2. There you go. That's 12 people in only -6. So what food do we have here? Do we only have 2 hazelnuts? It's a bit sad. A bit sad. Yeah, we only had 2. But we have rose hips. Yeah. And berries and pears, of course. Migrants. Let me see what you guys are still. Neolithic. She's a little bit behind on hunting, but she has good charisma and no bad grades, so she's almost our level, so I'll take her. So now we are 67. Okay, so max 80 is roughly what I want. I can't keep my people super happy. But I'm also a little bit worried that if one leave, then the entire family follows. Extended family as well, like here's 3. And each one of these could be married with kids. Yeah, and then they are leaving, and then their sibling are leaving because they left. You see, extended family, this is collateral effect of leaving. Literally, collateral effect. Oh, we can do this and do sticks instead, because that's most of. Just take the one by one. They don't have to. You don't have to change the work order. Just let them do their group tasks first, and things will come as they do. You can see it's not like they're not doing it just because we don't have a high priority on communal tasks. Communal tasks is everything that is not in a group, and most things can be in a group. So you don't have to have any communal tasks except something that you cannot place into any groups, and that is tidying the camp. Tidying the camp will for always and ever only be our communal task. When we say tidying the camp, we mean putting things into the right storages. If you have placed down storage areas, then they will tidy the tools to their places, and the food and the materials to the places that you have put down. That is tidying the camp. Because at the moment you can see everything is just thrown around right here. Like if you had a storage area for bone knives, which these are, people would during communal hours tidy these to that storage area, and that is what tidying the camp is. Yeah, nothing more mysterious. They're not doing any dishes. They're not cleaning anything. They're not doing dishes. They're putting stuff away. Okay, so, and these 2 are getting down bit by bit. The offerings are done, I think, as well. Yeah, they are done. So the new thing about offerings is that we need influence to do the Neolithic ones. You can't even see it because it probably this one needs only Mesolithic. Yeah, we need fine sticks because it has a dream catcher in it. If you go close, you can see it contains a dream catcher. See this? This is fine sticks. Well, not dream catcher, but you know, things that looks like this, which is fine sticks. Almost done with these two. I'm going to place down a few of the stones as well. Work on those two. We have so many people that has developed learned architecture that we don't need to have a specific group. You can see we have reached the max of what we're allowed to learn in this timeline. So there will be no progression no matter what I do. So now it's 100% playing as intended. No need to create tasks unless you can see the gray. If you can see the gray, then you have more to learn in that timeline. If you cannot see the gray, if the gray is gone, it means you have learned what you can in the timeline. This can change over 100 years, over 15 years. Depends where you are in the timeline. Yeah. So this one will slowly creep up till it becomes 100 by 1500 BC, because that's when the Neolithic has been taken over more or less by Metal Ages in most parts of Europe. Because it's not like the Neolithic was abruptly stopped at 1500 BC. They had metal tools, iron tools and stuff already 1,000 years before, or even more. But it was not commonly spread until thousands of years later. So one always started, and then it slowly spread over the decades and millennia, centuries, and then in the end everyone had it. So by 1500 BC, a Neolithic timeline was more Iron Age than anything else. So it's not like an abrupt end, that Neolithic no longer exists in 1500, or that Iron Age does not exist pre-1500 BC. So let's not get hung up in the numbers. This is just a guide of when it was more prevalent to have iron tools and whatnot, Metal Age implementations. Not that nobody had it before 1500 BC. Yeah. I'm preaching to the choir, I'm sure of it. I'm sure most of you people who watch my videos actually have this information already yourself. Some of it is logic as well. It's not like a new jeans coming on the market that is instant and suddenly it hasn't snuck in 10 decades before, like Metal Ages do. This is why also the Neolithic age is so long, because it started already 12,000 years ago in the Near East. So yeah, and then it snuck to the west and to the north. So look at you. I don't like your grades, and you have nothing we need. You are young, but look at her grades. She's weak, she's unfriendly, and she's clumsy, but she does have architecture. She will learn up to it fairly quickly, and she does have stone working. So I think she is alone. I think I'll take her. And weak is the least problematic negative grade of fitness. The worst one is of course frail. Frail is horrendous. They can't do anything. Are you empty? You have anyone? So some people are still asking, what does this mean? So the blue is the constituents, almost said, is the constitution. Is the state of the object, means how worn is it, and the bottom one is the storage capacity. So when this one is properly yellow, it is full. Yeah, this one as well. You have first you have the constitution of the object, then you have the storage, and then you have the progress underneath. Yeah. You can see the progress is there, and then you can see that the line is roughly there as well, the bottom line. Same here. You can see that it's roughly the same. Yeah. So you can see the constitution is low here because it's under construction. You can see it will be more and more and more and more and more. So that's basically what those mean. A lot of people still don't know that. But that is all there is to it. Nothing more mysterious. Nothing more mysterious, I promise. Right, so now we are down to 55. I'm okay with this. I'm gonna let them stay because I don't want to have tons of kids. Because we don't want to really be above 80 when we get farms, because we're gonna do a lot of scavenge hops and try to find peace. Because peace, yes, I can't stop talking about it. I'm so chuffed because I have argued for such a long time that the more western and northern part of Norway still had peace in 4K BC, in 3K BC as well. They had peace. Peace was a thing, you know. Pulses was a thing. So we have finally gotten it from being red to being blue, and I'm so happy about that. I think it helps a lot that I am so stubborn. Unfortunately, Mr. Dev is just as stubborn, so changes can take time if he does not agree to what I want. So it can take time, but most of the time, he does listen to what I think is correct. But the thing is, it's not like my insight comes from me. I have learned this via several sources. It's not like that I go read Wikipedia and then say, okay, this is how it is. No. When you read Wikipedia, go down to their sources, find their sources, and then continue to find other sources and peer reviews and stuff like that. This is where you get the better picture. Then you can have a better chance of getting a more unified and a broader insight into the specific area you're looking. Yeah. There's something that I think most scientists already know. Everyone who works with science know that. Go look for more sources. Ask more questions. Critical thinking. I think the colors have changed on the mud here. It seems lighter. Or is it my gamma? Is my gamma a bit off? Let's have a look. No, not you. Options. Here, let's have a look at gamma. Oh, I like that better. I like the dark better. Maybe you guys don't. Oh, but I love it. I love the dark so much. Is it too much? Let's see when the sun comes if it's too much. It could be too much. Could be. So 50% half, that's roughly 30 people. That's the issue. So we don't need all of these. We can take away some of them. Roughly, yeah. So you can see these two are not even used because these three are. Because each one of those take around. I think it's 10 people. I'm pretty sure it's 10 people. Yeah. So yeah, so as long as there's plenty of food coming in, we know that the prey is fairly close. That means they are not wasting their time going far, far away to get the meat and then going far, far back to camp to store it. So if you're going to rely on Mesolithic lifestyle, just keep an eye. Just basically follow the prey. As soon as it goes down to 1/3 of what it used to be, you either need to find alternative food in the locality, or you move on. I choose to move on. Now we have 47% sleeping by the fireplace, and these guys can rotate. If you have a 70-30%, you will have rotation to a point where nobody will have 37 or a will working in the background causing them to leave. They will not leave you. Just try it out yourself, a 70-30 ratio. 70 housing and 30% fireplace. This is something I do when I migrate a lot. Because, you know, a lot of the things that you build, you are using your resources that you can't get back. Like these. You can't get back anything from these. Take with you, that is. You don't take with you the raw stones. Nobody does that. There was this guy who left a bad review because he had to gather the stones all over again with the pelt hut. But he left bad review because the pelt hut is a nomadic housing option. Yeah. Quick to assemble and dismantle, a portable housing for nomadic tribes, and he did not understand that they were not going to carry with them the raw stones. And that annoyed him so much, he made a bad review due to it. I mean, hello? Hello? Is anyone home? No, nobody's home. Good grief, reading some of the bad reviews just puts me in a mood where I just want to yell at them. Because stupidity is something even God fights in vain against, seriously. It's like there's no way of it's like some persons are not born with logic. We're all born with a logic center. We're all born with a moral center. I bet not everyone knew that. Moral is not necessarily always learned. You do have a certain center of morality innate. This is part of evolution, and I claim it changes based on the altruism, which is again a big can of worms that has a gazillion opinions. Not going to go too much into this because it becomes genre talk and jargon bubble, and I don't want to do that because not everyone is a scientist or a criminologist or whatever. We just want this short information bits, not the boring parts. Okay, 68. I don't want more kids. Yeah, so I'm going to leave it like this. The people being blue. Blue is fine on hardcore. If you want few people, don't have everyone happy. That's just how it is. So what have we reached a max on? We reached max on stoneworking. We reached max on toolsmithing, on architecture. We still lack a little bit. I say we lack 40% on hunting. The closer you come to the Neolithic timeline, the less likely you are to do too much of both hunting and fishing. The more you are sedentary, the less likely you are to do fishing and hunting, and therefore also leatherworking, because you don't want to hunt up everything. You want them to repopulate whenever you've had a hunting season. So you won't get a ton of meat all the time, you won't get a ton of fish all the time, and you won't get a ton of raw hides all the time. So this is something that you might have to trade for later, or raid for, whatever works. Because you do want to take care of the locality you're in. You want to be stingy in your locality so you can stay as long as you like. The problem is, I'm not sure it's a problem, it's a good thing in my opinion, is that all localities are different. You have different randomness of absolutely every element in your locality. Even the trees, everything has a different random spawn number, to put it like that. Seed for locality. So yeah, it's a bit that you can't always play the same way, is my point, because not everything is the same. Yeah. So there, but I think that is going to be it for this episode. So I assume you can see we're getting low on food. So I think next episode will be our last migration before we start scavenge running. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see, because we're going to mass harvest still, both the flint cores and the fine raw stones, and of course the animals and the hides, because we want them. We want at least 100 raw leather when we land, because we're going to chuck up tons of pelt huts so that we can focus on building better housing bit by bit. What people need somewhere to sleep that is not always the fireplace. 70-30 ratio will be fine. Right, so until then, have fun and take care. Oh wait, do as I say, not as I do.